Time to reveal a Viewer's Choice Award winner in the lawyer category. The law office of George Nam is one of the best of Hawaii.
Estate planning. What is it? How does it work? And how do you create one?
Since 1992, attorney George Nam has helped develop the appropriate estate plan for the specific needs of many families in Hawaii.
And look, he's here. Joining us right now is attorney George Nam. Aloha, how are you?
Good, good.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. You know, and I really am glad you're here because this is such a stressful topic to broach, but very important for our families to have this covered before anything happens. So if we can, I want to start with a simple question. It might not involve a simple answer, but what is probate?
Okay, so probate, whether you own real property or even if you don't own real property, you got a bank account. So simply put, it's under your name. Mm-hmm. Only way the ownership can change is if you sign the appropriate legal paperwork. Okay, so now when you pass away, we stop. Hey, I need a signature, or too late. So now that's where, after the person passed away, we have to go through this legal probate procedure. So in the end, we get the court order from the judge, lawyers take care of getting the ownership title transferred over, or the frozen bank account unfrozen.
Oh, and that can be a long and arduous process sometimes,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So how can we avoid probate? I know you just mentioned something about that signature, right?
Yeah.
How can we avoid probate, George?
Okay, so you'll hear a lot of times people say, oh, I set up a revocable living trust. I made my trust, and so I don't have to go through that arduous process. So that's where we come in, and then we talk to the client, you know, we find out, we gotta know like family matters, like, okay, after you pass away, who you want the property to go to. Mm-hmm. Then we get all the details, and then this is where the lawyers gotta come in to take the ownership, transfer it to the trust. Because if we don't do that, you still get the disconnect. You pass away, oh, the lawyer didn't change the ownership. Okay, so now, once it's in the trust, as I said earlier, when you pass away, your trust is like your alter ego. It's still you, but now we don't have to go through this court proceedings.
Wow.
With just simple paperwork, file it at the appropriate government office, ownership change, and that's done. Bank accounts, take the appropriate paperwork to the bank, they release the funds. Simple as that.
I feel like this weight or this burden just got lifted off our shoulders because we have an expert.
Well, the way that he explained it too was in a language I could understand.
Exactly. And you know what, I also like, you mentioned like sitting down with the family, going through all the details. So this is not a cookie cutter, just, you know, you typing in information. You are sitting down them and developing a plan with them, which is super awesome. I like that that customizable feeling that you just conveyed. Now, you know, before we wrap over here, I'm sure that our viewers want to reach out to you, George, and they can do that at georgenam.com, georgenam.com, super simple. But before we do, we always try to forget freebies, me and Lena girl. So I just want to ask you some advice regarding bank accounts and other financial assets to avoid, you know, that probate process.
Oh yeah, so you know everybody owns a bank account. Mm-hmm. They may not own real property because, you know, expensive to buy a house over here, right? But with bank accounts, a lot of times the banks don't tell you, oh, by the way, when you open this account, you want to name a beneficiary in case something happens to you. And I cannot expect you to know to ask the bank that question. So simply put, when you have time, you go to your bank or credit union, talk to the customer service person, and just figure out, when I take my happy journey, who do I want to leave this account to? And then the bank's going to take the person's name down. You sign the beneficiary paper, and it's a done deal. And then you don't have to worry about it. And if you ever change your mind, just go back to the bank again, change the beneficiary. You don't have to go to the lawyer for that. But nothing is automatic. So if you don't do that, then of course,
that's when we start talking probate again.
And you know, if there's a lot of families like you know, I'm not that old yet, so I'm not quite comfortable putting my children onto my joint, you know, as a joint owner on my account. Well, that's the next best thing. You put them as a beneficiary.
Smart. I like that.
And then, you know what? In the progression of life, when you get older, you get to be that real kapuna age,
Yeah.
right? And then she starts slowing down, you get your senior moments, then upgrade them from a beneficiary to maybe a joint owner.
Oh, I like
yeah.
that.
These are great tips. Thank you so much.
One more last tip. How do you choose which is your favorite child, though? Nah, just kidding. You can as a benefit now. Just kidding. Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
We
Make one appointment, and then we can talk privately.
Okay, right on, right on.
We appreciate you, George Nam from the law office of George Nam. Favorite kid. Ooh.
I know Lena Girl is the favorite. I not. But anyway,
That I know, actually. Your mama told me.
shout out to my brother John. Okay.